I receive messages from the viewers literally every day. Some days it's dozens of messages. So it's very hard for me to respond to everything. There are still messages that have been unread for a while just because I can't get to them. And I do try to respond to everyone, but it's very hard sometimes to do that. I'm a very busy guy, and there's more messages coming in than I have time to look at. And it's a problem. But I was sitting here at my desk, and this message popped up on my Discord, and I said, this looks very interesting. And I think it's such an interesting question that I want to dedicate a whole video to it, because I think it's an important question. Us as card players, we kind of look things through a particular looking glass, so to speak, a card game looking glass. So I'm going to pose to you this question brought to you by one of my Discord viewers right now. Hey Mario, I have a really random question for you. If I love a response if you have time. While you do have a career based on trading cards, you've also mentioned it's your biggest hobby. Let's say that you never got into trading cards or something happens and one day you decide to stop playing card games. What hobbies would you pursue? Very interesting. I recently thought about this myself because I recently went back into my favorite hobby of all times, which is building model cars. I used to love doing this, but then card games sucked me in. After 10 years, I finally decided to cool off on cards a little and go back to the model cards, and I can say I've been a lot happier overall. Again, I appreciate it if you could answer me whenever you can. I'm just curious as you're my favorite Digimon YouTuber. Smiley face. Well, of course I'm the favorite Digimon YouTuber. I mean, who else is there? Anyway, so before I answer this question, what hobbies would I be doing if not for card games? I want you guys to leave your answers in the comments. Think about it for a second. If you were not into the card games, what would you be doing instead? What kind of hobbies would you be pursuing? I think it's a really interesting question. I do think this, look at the brain pumping a little bit. So do let me know what you think. And before I give you my answer, I'm going to use this as a shameless plug for myself now. I'm recording this now to upload for tomorrow. If you guys are watching this when the video goes live tomorrow morning, today, Sunday now, you can catch me on Twitch streaming the Luxury Championship Series, a really big cash tournament, BT12 competitive gameplay. And if you guys want to click on that Twitch link, I would appreciate it. And yeah, let's actually answer this viewer's question. So, first of all, it would give me more time to do things like, read, play video games, watch TV, movies, whatever. Those aren't hobbies, though. But if it wasn't for card games, I'd have a lot more time for myself. There are three hobbies I can think of. Two real hobbies and like a bonus, I guess. One of the things I'd love to do more is go on more road trips. I love going in my car and going places. As I've been victimized by card games, usually whenever I do this is because of a card tournament. So it's not really just a nice road trip for the sake of blissful ignorance and enjoying my life. There's an ulterior motive to it that's not just enjoying the sights of the road trip itself. Today I went to Watertown, which was actually really cool. I went to the States for the first time since Gen Con last year, and we just drove around, shopped, and did nothing else. Now that's not really a road trip in my definition of road trip. You actually go places and do things, spend a few days or whatever, do something. But it was a nice little reprieve, I will say. And if I could actually go back to do road trips, semi often, where I could take like 2, 3 days and just have a destination in mind and go and enjoy the sights there and on the way there and back. You know what I mean? I think that's a really cool hobby and something that I'm really passionate about, something I'd love to do. The other big one for me is hiking. You know, I'm moving, but like we're before I'm not in the new city that I'm moving to, but the old city. There's literal hiking trails and nature trails like an hour north, south, east, and west. You know what I mean? They're all over the place, and I don't have time to fucking go anywhere. I got time for dick all, as some would say. So there's all these great trails around that I could spend hours hiking and walking and whatever. Getting exercise, taking some pictures, enjoying the scenery. I can't do it for much longer because allergies would kill me. But I love to go on those kind of walks. And I don't have time for that. I think that I would also love to implement that in my life. If the card games, if I stopped doing the card games altogether, I would definitely make a lot more time to hike. If I didn't have card games, I could probably do a hike a week. Honestly, one good hike every weekend. I could do that. And I think it'd be good for exercise, and I'd probably be a lot happier because there's something very, very blissful about just going somewhere and walking. In my life, there have been times where I've had, depressive moments, I'll say. And sometimes I've just gone for a drive, or sometimes I've gone for a long walk. And it makes me feel better about life. So being able to just do that every week would be actually probably really mentally healthy. So there's that. The bonus hobby is to get into Pokemon Nuzlocking. I love Pokemon Nuzlocks. I've done a total of four. But they're really fun, and I'd love to get into more of them. I don't know if that counts as a hobby or not. I think it does. But that's the one at the end. The first two are my primary ones. Now, why this is so interesting, besides the base question of having us re-question our livelihoods and our hobbies, the part here is why you have a career based on trading cards. So it's almost gotten to a point where the card games, oh, Digimon in particular, and probably soon to be Lorcana, is not a hobby anymore. I'll play Magic with my friend in Ottawa. We'll play fun modern, fun legacy. Occasionally we'll throw some Pokemon together, and that's fun. That's enjoyable. I'd call that hobbying because we just build random shit. We throw it at each other, see what sticks. It's not serious. It's just fun. It's tier 3, tier 4 garbage. It's enjoyable. I don't have any expectations, and it's fun to just hang out with my friend and build wacky abominations of cards. I think it's really cool. Um, yeah, that's that. But let's talk about Digimon for a second. So most people on the internet know me for my Digimon involvement. That's just how it is. It's not like back in the day when I played Yu-Gi-Oh. When I played Yu-Gi-Oh competitively, yeah, it was a competitive hobby, I'd say, but there wasn't anything tying me to it. I was just choosing to play the game and choosing to do my best because I was choosing to spend my spare time doing that. It wasn't tied to income earning or anything like that. If I won, a mat or deck box, top 8, top 4, whatever here and there, cool. But like that wasn't the point. Now we live in a world, and I have a video coming out about this maybe in a couple months. But my Digimon content has gotten to a point where it's no longer a hobby. Digimon was a hobby when the content creation first started, absolutely. But it quickly turned into something more. And it's continued to evolve and continue to evolve to the point where, I I understand that the income coming from the content creation has actually grown a lot just in the last freaking 6 months alone. I understand that if I want to keep things growing because I can actually see something coming from this, I can't treat it like a hobby. You know what I mean? And I'm okay doing that. I have other little card games, as I mentioned, to fill my hobby niche. But, like, let's be real. I'm making this video. It's kind of like work. I turn on stream. It's kind of like work. If I'm playtesting for a big tournament, I treat that as work. Why? Because I know that if I do well, it's another knuckle. No, it's not. That's the wrong word. It's another notch on my belt buckle. You know what I mean? And then get enough of those, it builds exposure, it builds credibility. Like, for instance, there's a lot of content creators in Digimon that just don't have the tops or the wins. Or maybe they did good back in the day, but there's been nothing since. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that to be a dick. Absolutely not. That's just an objective truth. Um, Going back to me now, I'm a content creator that has credentials and recent credentials at that. And all those credentials, they do help in bringing up people in awareness of me. They know that I'm a two-time Digimon champion. They know that I have a dozen Digimon tops. Everyone knows that. Or if you don't know that, maybe now you know that. Or if you don't know that, people will randomly come across it here and there and people will find and whatever. Okay. So, like, I actually don't view Digimon as a hobby because it's so close to being something more at this point in time. And I don't get any free handouts. I really don't. I've grinded for everything. I don't get to commentate Bandai events for a free paycheck. I don't get paid to do random nonsense, with the exception of the Raid Shadow Legends. But that's funny. That's recent. But you know what I mean? A lot of the content, a lot of the income I made from content creation is literally by my back, my building, my results, and my tops. So I don't treat it as a hobby anymore. But going back to the original question, if everything crashed and burned one day, let's say that, I could not do content creation anymore, I could not play Digimon anymore, the sky fell, everything's dead. All right. Then I would just go to my regular 9 to 5, try maybe another income source on the side if I needed it, but my 9 to 5 is pretty fine right now. Good business. And I would go and actually do these hobbies I mentioned because I don't make enough time for myself anymore, and I think that it's important to do so. Um, I hope I answered your question. I'll respond, let you know that I gave you a big video about this question because 99% of the questions and messages I get are Digimon related, like for sure. This happened to be an anomaly, and a very good anomaly at that. So I figured I'd give this question the respect it deserves in its own video because it I could not just type that out. Let me know what you guys think and leave it in the comments and check me on Twitch. Tournament, really cool stuff. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Bye.